VMworld 2013, this is day 3 of 3 days of wall-to-wall coverage. This is SiliconANGLE's theCUBE, our flagship program. We go out to the events, extract the signal from the noise. I'm John Furrier, I'm joined with my co-host Dave Vellante for all 3 days. And this is our 4th year with VMworld. theCUBE started in 2010, and we really haven't skipped a beat, Dave. 4 years straight, always a great show, wall-to-wall coverage. You know, day 3 is always the hardest because it's so much action going on. I mean, we still have a packed day today, so stay here on SiliconANGLE.com or SiliconANGLE.tv for all the coverage. We have Pat Gelsinger coming in about 5 minutes. He's on his way over. But Dave, I want to get your take on just so far, whirlwind. Luckily, it's damp here. It's not Vegas, so we didn't lose our voices here in San Francisco. But we did, what, 13 hours straight interviews yesterday, Dave? What was the number?
Yeah, I think we started at 10 a.m. and went till, gosh, we went past 9 o'clock at AT&T Park with the NetApp customer event. If you weren't able to see that, it was quite an affair. NetApp basically rented out AT&T Park, invited about 1,500 to 1,800 customers, and of course theCUBE was there, right behind second base, interviewing customers, cloud service providers, partners, a bunch of NetApp execs, and having a lot of fun.
So we're here at day 3, we've got Pat Gelsinger coming up, we've got a big lineup, Bill Fathers, with Sanjay Poonen, new exec running end user computing. He came from SAP, be great to see him on. He's been a CUBE alumni, we've interviewed him at Sapphire when he was an exec at SAP, but really there's 3 things going on here at VMworld, breaking it down. We're going to drill down with Pat, obviously. He had a panel that we're going to ask him a lot of questions about the Mark Andreessen and Andy Peschelson, really kind of legends in tech, talking about the future of IT. But in general, there's 3 areas that we're going to pivot down here on VMworld with Pat Gelsinger and all the guests. Software-defined data center, that's the core theme. That is the destination, that is the moonshot for the industry, and VMware's leading the charge. And they started that over a year ago when they bought Nicira for over $1 billion. Core to their strategy, software is the focus point. Software is eating the data center, eating the enterprise, as we posted on SiliconANGLE. 2, hybrid cloud, Dave. That's a killer area. That's kind of like the safe area, the halfway house of the cloud. Public is a nice area for non-mission critical applications, but when you talk enterprise, hybrid cloud is what people want. And 3, end user computing. This is a weak spot for VMware, has not been their strong suit, but certainly with Sanjay Poonen, Tim Young, a lot of good stuff hopefully going to come down the pike. So 3 areas, Dave, software-defined data center, hybrid cloud, and end user computing. We're going to drill on that. And then, you know, and just riff off what Carl Eschenbach talked about, the march towards that data center. So VMware has this cadence of Pat Gelsinger inside the company, and I think that's the key theme that I'm seeing here.
Well, VMware's plans have always been ambitious. I mean, I go back to the Moritz days when he said, we're going to build a software mainframe. It's exactly what they've been doing. You know, when we started here in 2010, John, the discussion was always, well, what % of your servers are virtualized, and how far are you on your journey, and you know, have you done anything beyond test and dev? And people were generally thinking about it, but if you look back, and now you see where we are today, it's been some considerable progress, and that's shown up in the valuation of VMware.
Yeah, and one of the things we want to highlight too, last night was really a special evening for theCUBE. Obviously, VMworld's always a smashing show, a lot of content, a lot of thought leaders, a lot of action, certainly under the hood with relative to the technology industry and IT, and service providers, which is going to affect a lot of the consumer products. But last night, we were at the NetApp customer event where Pat Gelsinger did a flyby with Carl and Ragun, and these guys came by. NetApp had us on the field, Dave. The pictures are still out there, the videos are on YouTube, go to youtube.com/SiliconANGLE, and we had a great interviews with NetApp's thought leaders, and one of the things that came out there was, 1, being on the field was fun, but also 2, the customers are engaged, and this notion of private cloud really is about hybrid cloud, but ultimately, Dave, you know, you're hearing things about software-defined everything, and software is eating the enterprise. So last night we had a great time. The thing that came out of yesterday's presentation with NetApp, our special CUBE on the field at AT&T Park, was the ecosystem, the focus on partners, and that was what NetApp, you saw that relationship with NetApp, and that was really awesome. So we're going to be here all day. Pat Gelsinger, Sanjay Poonen, Bill Fathers, all the top VMware guys are going to be coming through the CUBE here. We're going to do a drill down and see how they're holding up in the show, and 2, find out what their take is. Did the messaging go over well? How's the product portfolio look like? What's going on in the ecosystem? And what's next in the future of cloud, software-defined data center, and end user. So we'll be right back with Pat Gelsinger after this short break. Stay here all day, wall-to-wall coverage. We're in a packed schedule. We'll try to hold it together, Dave. It's day 3. So we'll be back with Pat Gelsinger after this short break.